Well, what about so-and-so? Shut up. Stop it. It doesn't happen in this country. It just doesn't. But if you clear your head, if you can think clearly, you will make a decision that benefits you best. Okay? And that may be making a bunch of money. That may be running a successful business. That may be being the best father and husband or mother that you possibly can be to raise children who are going to be pillars of light for others. Whatever it is. It may be, you may want to be a confirmed bachelor and live your life the way you want in solitude. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. You have the freedom to do that. No matter what happens, you can do what benefits you best. Let me go back to one of the ball players that I mentioned, Randy Arozarena. Those of you who are true Cardinal fans, big Cardinal fans, probably remember that name, okay? He was one of these fringe outfielders that the Cardinals had. Lane Thomas, Harrison Bader, who's the big muscle boy from Canada? I can't think of his name. But there's a handful of these ball players, and Randy Arozarena was one of them. He was one of these up-and-coming outfielders who was going to be a star. Well, last year they traded Tommy Pham, who the Cardinals figured was just going to be so good. We have all these other upcoming stars, so we need to make room for Tommy Pham. So they traded Tommy Pham, a starting outfielder, for a guy named Matthew Liberatore to the Tampa Bay Rays. And Matthew Liberatore was a young, I think it was 19-year-old pitcher who's, maybe he's going to be real good one day, maybe he's not. But the Rays wanted more than just Tommy Pham for Matthew Liberatore, so they threw in Randy Arozarena. Just threw him in for what the heck. Yeah, give him too. We got 18 different young and upcoming outfielders. We'll just get rid of this guy. And in spring training last year with the Rays, who weren't expected to be a very good team, Randy Arozarena wasn't even good enough to make the starting roster. He wasn't going to be on the club coming north. Well, they had the COVID-19 scare. Baseball was delayed. In fact, Randy Arozarena caught COVID-19 and was quarantined for a long time, for longer than the normal 14 days. So here's a guy, I believe he's from Cuba, speaks English as a second language, in a foreign country, quarantined by himself. Oh, and by the way, you're not going to make the starting roster, so you're going back to the minor leagues, if there is a minor leagues this year. What the heck was this guy going to do? Well, let me tell you what Randy Arozarena did. He did 500 push-ups a day. He lived on a diet that was very rich in rice and chicken. In other words, the right kind of carbohydrates and protein. And 500 push-ups a day and other exercises. While he was on COVID-19 quarantine, Randy Arozarena put 15 pounds of muscle on his frame. 15 pounds. That's a lot, friends. That's a lot of muscle. And they called him up in September. And he hit over 7 home runs. Now, I don't think there was a Cardinal who hit more than 7 home runs for the whole year. This guy, this rookie, this nobody, they brought him up. He hit 7 home runs in September. Okay? If the Rays win the pennant and go to the World Series, Randy Arozarena will probably be the MVP because of the amazing job he's done in the field and at the bat. So a year ago, this guy was just a fringe player with the Cardinals who they didn't really care about him. They given him, I think, 20 at-bats, 23 plate appearances last year. And he actually hit 300 with 1 home run, but they didn't think he was a big deal, so they just gave him away. The Rays didn't have much use for him. So what he did is he built 15 pounds of muscle on his frame, and it looks like he's become a superstar. He did that on his own when the chips were down and he had nothing else to do, but he could have looked in the mirror and felt sorry for himself, but he didn't. That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about, okay? That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You can make the choice to do whatever you want in this country. And if you may say, well, it doesn't matter strong because if the election doesn't go the way I want, this country is going to go to hell in a handbasket. No, it's just not. Now, for those of you who are big Donald Trump supporters and think that the economy is going to tank if Donald Trump doesn't win the election, did you know that the stock market does better when a Democrat is in the White House? Now, you may have just canceled me because you think I'm just lying, more fake news. Don't take my word for it. Research it. Look at it. See if what I say is right. You don't have to like this statement, but it's true, and you can't argue with a fact, okay? In the stock market, you say, well, stock market's for rich people, Strong. No, the stock market is not for rich people. It is for rich people, but it's also for those who want to be rich too. It's the way you can get a piece of the pie yourself. It's easy. How do you do it? Take a little bit of money and put it into a S&P 500 mutual fund. You pay almost no fees, and you're going to go ahead and mirror the market. That's a cheap, easy, simple way to do it. Anybody can do it. You can do it on your phone. There's an app called Robinhood you can do it on if you want to. Money isn't important for some as it is others, but money does buy the tickets in life to have fun. In other words, now the more money, the more fun? No, not necessarily. Decide what you want to do, see how much money you need for that, and make that your goal. Maybe it's just a little bit of money. Maybe your goals, maybe the things you want to do in life aren't that expensive. That's okay. That's fine. It's what you want to do. But what you can't do is live $1 million lifestyle and not have $1 million because you'll fail. Why do we even say this? Because it's always about buying the tickets in life to have fun, to do what you want, to accomplish your goals, to do your own thing. But to do that, you have to identify your goals. You have to write them down, and you have to act on them. If you do all that, life is going to be good. Doesn't mean you're not going to have bumps, not going to mean you don't have problems, but it does mean that if you do things right in this country with the freedoms that we have, no matter who wins the presidential election, if Trump wins, if Biden wins, if Joe Jorgensen wins, okay, if Trump wins or if Joe Biden wins the election, nothing is going to change. America will not turn into a totalitarian regime with Trump as king forever. We will not turn into a socialist demagoguery. None of that's going to happen, no matter which one wins. But you can succeed in spite of whatever happens, because we live in the United States, the freest country in the world. What does President Xi and the Chinese fear the most? The people in his country will see things as they are in our country and say, hey, wait a minute, why can't we have that? And when the people in China, in Hong Kong, have pro-democracy demonstrations, we can't have that, so let's throw the demonstrators in prison forever. What if we threw all the Black Lives Matter protesters, the peaceful protesters, in prison forever? We don't do that. In fact, we encourage it. Do you know anybody in this country who says, no, I don't think we should make protesting legal in this country? No, everybody agrees with that. So the sky is not falling with this election on November 3rd. No matter who wins, the sky is not falling. Because if you clear your mind, if you take that adventure of a lifetime 3 times a year and take that opportunity to turn off the computer in your head and reboot and clear the clutter from your mind and think lucidly, it doesn't matter who wins the election. It doesn't matter who wins the World Series. It doesn't matter who wins the NBA playoffs. It just doesn't matter. It's a rounding error, because you, friends, can do whatever you want if you clear your head of the clutter and think lucidly about how to do the things in life that are important to you. Well, that's it. We're done. Hope you enjoyed the show. JamesStrongShow@hotmail.com. That's the email address. Send me your email. I will send you a link to the podcast upon publication so you can download it and listen to it at your leisure. That's it. We're done. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time, this is James Strong saying adios.